What's up, guys? Jaydaniel here with my co-host Victor, and this is the Sales at Home podcast. So, for this episode, we're gonna talk about the new year. Obviously it's New Year, everybody's excited, for a day, for a week, whatever. I want to comment on that because I actually had a conversation in regards to this like recently, and with somebody, and it's like most people are because there's always like the evolutions in our life, right? It's kind of that next stage. Most people are like the teenager, like the old 40-year-old teenager, right? Where they kind of just stay at the same habits, income, people they hang around with, you know what I mean, for way too long. So they're like a super experienced teenager. They're the smartest teenager ever. They're the wisest. They've been through the most, right? Um, so it's like making that transition to actually, that next
Yeah.
level. And I think the reason I'm saying that point is because if you think about the new year, if you think about starting over, starting new, you know what I mean, as opposed to having like a gradual thing that's constantly progressing, like you're just going to be stuck in a cycle. And most people, the cycle is every year, I'm going to get my habits right. I'm going to get this right. I'm going to change. When you know what I mean? It's just like you decide and you never stop. And it's always a 1% improvement. Um, but anybody who is choosing to start on the 1%, I think we should support them and help them,
Yeah.
keep
Yeah.
it going past January.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because, like, I mean, look at the gym as an example. Like, when is the gym's busiest month? It's January. January,
Yeah.
February, it tapers off in March and April, you're good. But it's like that, it's that arc that you want to have. You want to have a continuing arc. You don't want to have dips in your arc of growth. And so
Exactly.
I feel like the last 2 years have just been on this upward incline, and I'm about to hit where it's gonna get good. I'm about to hit that good peak where I've been grinding for a long time. I've been making those steps, and now I've built the muscle. Now I've built the habits, and it's like, all right, now it's time to actually see some dividends from this. And so it's the things that I can already see coming are crazy. Like in my head, and what's happening in the future with my family, personally, business, like, and that's where you want to be at the beginning of a year. You don't want to be looking like, man, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to like shape up here, I need to shape up there. You want to be in the spot where you're like, no, I want to build on what I've already been doing and capitalize on it.
Yeah. Oh, bro. Like exactly. There's people that say on January 1st, I'm going to do this. I'm going to shave my, well, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like it's December, for example, right? It's December the 15th. Why are you going to wait 17 days to
Yeah.
start? Because if you decide to do something, but you take 2 weeks to start, you have like no incentive to drive it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's no momentum. The momentum's dead. Now it's the same as a random idea you have in your head that you don't act on. It's
Mhm.
retarded. If you want to do something, work on it immediately. Just fucking, you know what I mean? Like obviously look at your priorities and stuff, but like if you want to do it, if it's important, if it's a priority, like don't wait till a certain day, just fucking start, because again, momentum and gradual progress is much better than like um feast or famine, push. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Relearning the same thing you already know, like, which is what a lot of people fall into.
Yeah. I heard something the other day where um one of those you know sports pundits was talking, and he said, we were taught to do write our goals down as kids. We were taught to have goals. He's like, but they lied to us. He's like, having goals is just setting yourself up to fail. If I don't achieve my goal, then what happens? I'm mad at myself. I'm down on myself. My self-esteem goes down. Like, all the things that make me not want to achieve happen when I don't meet my goal. If you meet your goal, great, awesome. But then what's next, right? You have to set another goal, and you're not going to hit every single goal. He's like, but if you set frameworks, if you set standards and say, this is where I'm going to raise my standard to, and then constantly raise your standard, now you're standing on a new platform. And from that
Yep.
platform, you're able to build higher and higher and higher. And I think it's
So
super
good.
smart. I've never been a fan of resolutions for that reason. New Year's resolutions always kind of like skeeve me a little bit because it's like, come on, dude, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. Okay, sure. All right. Why didn't you lose 30 pounds last year? Why? It was your same resolution from last year. No, I'm going to read more. Okay. Like, what are you doing to do that? Like all of these things that people
Yep.
say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. Like you said, there's no incentive, there's no motivation, there's no momentum behind it because they're waiting to start. I'm going to do this, not I'm currently doing it.
Dude, if you had an excuse to why you didn't start 2 weeks ago, like it's not a priority. You're not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
Like, and 99.999% of the time, it's just not a priority. Because you can move things around, you can make time, you could wake up an hour earlier, 30 minutes earlier, 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
Bro, if I do push-ups, just push-ups for 15 minutes every single day, I will look very, very different.
Yep.
And not that long.
Yep.
We all would. So
Yep.
like 15 minutes a day working on that thing consistently, like you're set, So the whole I'll start this day is bullshit. And to add to what you were saying, you were touching on you made a really good point around shit. You were going into the resolutions, you were going into can you kind of go back through that for me real quick? Just
Like
what you were
setting the
going
standards and making sure
standard
that,
to standard.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. So like it's true. If you have a goal, you get overwhelmed, you don't hit it, you feel like shit, you look down on yourself. When you have a standard, you can just set, and I see it almost as like little, like, so if you think about getting really, really in shape, you think about then I gotta wake up and I gotta go to the gym, meet a gym person, get some protein, buy new clothes.
mhm,
Oh, you just think about all the stuff that sucks about it, right? When you just think about like a very, very tangible next action step and the benefit that's tied to that action step, you're gonna do it
yeah,
as long as the benefits, right? But if it has to be short term, that's where you start.
mhm,
Most people aren't capable of thinking long term, just because like everything they do is short term, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. And
yeah.
so,
And you know what? That's really smart. And some people, somebody hearing this would be like, "Oh yeah, I just set small goals and complete my small goal." And like, okay, if you want to call it a goal, call it a goal. But what you're doing is you're setting an action step, and it's like, this is my next step to achieve what I want to achieve. I'm not looking down the line. I'm looking at this one step, and I'm taking that one step. For a lot of
and
people,
why that's important.
yeah, for a lot of people, that's a lot harder than looking down the line and saying, "This is my goal." Right? Because when you look down the line and say, "This is my goal," you can put it off, you can procrastinate, you can be like, "Oh yeah, I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's such
get
a
there
good
later.
point. Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna get there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." But if you wake up and say, or if you go to bed at night and say, "I'm waking up tomorrow at 5:30 in the morning. That's all I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up 5:30 in the morning," and you actually wake up 5:30 in the morning, now you set another step. I'm going to brush my teeth as soon as I wake up. Then you set another step. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Suddenly, you've got what we call momentum because you've been taking action and you've been building these steps. But if it's a goal way off down the line, like what does that matter?
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
there.
And it's like, and those are tangible action steps, right? And so like, if you think about, yeah, bro, those are tangible action steps. And if you think about like going out into bro, that's such a good point. I've never even thought of it that way, like what you're saying. Like it's so true. Like it's literally just procrastination.
Yeah. How do you run a mile?
That's having goals is easier than making
Yeah.
actions.
Yeah. How do you run a mile? One step at a
One
time.
step at a time.
How
Yeah.
do you run a marathon? One step at a time. It doesn't
Yep.
matter the distance you're going. The end goal doesn't matter. You have to take those steps. Each step is what matters, not the end goal. So
Yep.
if we're focused on, oh, I need to run, I need to run 26.2 or whatever marathon, length is. If I'm thinking about that, then I'm never going to do it. Why would I do that to myself? Why would I do any of that? Right. That's why
You're
that
thinking
whole couch to 5K, couch to marathon was so like, such a fad because it was like, no, here's the next step you take to get to that point. But it's like you can't do it if you're not going to take a step. So take a
exactly.
step and then take another step and take another step and take another step and then see where it gets you.
Especially if you're not disciplined. I think most problems, like 99%, just come from a lack of discipline, right?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have discipline, like listen to some Jordan Peterson, he's gonna tell you, like, hey, break it down, make it simple, consistency over like volume for one day.
Yeah.
It's better to be what's that saying? That I think it was Bruce Lee. It's like I'd rather the guy who can do one kick 1,000 times or 10,000 times, and the guy who can do 10,000 kicks once or who
Yeah.
practices them all once, you know?
And it's that mentality and that mental fortitude of being like, okay, I know that taking this one step is going to get me to my goal a lot quicker than thinking about my goal will.
Yep.
Because I'm taking the step, I'm moving forward in the right direction, and just sitting here thinking about it is absolutely nothing. How many ideas have you had where you're like, man, this is such a great idea. I can make so much money off of this. I could patent this idea, this invention, and I can make so much money. And then a year later, somebody else is doing it and it's coming out on the market, you know,
Dude,
all the time, right?
I
All
have
the time.
trauma. So
All the time, because we're sitting there, we're thinking about something, we're not putting in action.
100%. 100%. Here's another like motivational kind of thing, right? Like, I don't know if you people watching, you person watching, whoever you are, um, Les Brown has a very good like segment. You'll probably find it on YouTube if you type in his name. But he talks about how like the richest place in the world is the graveyard because that's where ideas, dreams, aspirations, they all died. Um, that's where the world's that's where the world's flying cars are. That's where like the cure to like every disease ever is, although it's probably out here as well. It's just being censored. Just saying. But you know what I mean? Like it's yeah, bro. It's craziness.
Yeah, it's that concept of, putting in the action, putting in the work that goes behind the thought, right? Thought is not enough. Having a
Uh-huh.
thought, having faith that you're going to get somewhere is not enough. Having ideas, having thought, it all takes feet, it all takes work, it all takes you getting out there and putting in the day-to-day and making the next step to get to where you got to be.
Bro, and for new sales reps, right? Like if you're a new sales rep listening to this, like dude, like um I want to make this valuable for them, like in terms of an action step we can have them do, right? What do you think is an action? Is that I'll give you a scenario. Brand new person wants to make 5 to 10 grand a month, quit their job, do remote sales from home, right? They don't know anything, like nothing. Like they work at Winn Dixie. I don't know if they'll still exist, but they work at Winn Dixie or Kmart or whatever, right? Kmart definitely doesn't exist, but they work, whatever, right? 9 to 5. They don't like it. They want to leave. Uh, what do you think is a good, tangible first? And I know there's different ages and demographics tied to it. But just in general, to make it as general as possible, like what do you think is a good, tangible action step for somebody who just wants to get started?
You want to get started in sales, you're brand new, today's the first day you're thinking about it, right? You have a 9 to 5. Take 1 hour out of your day. When you're done with work, before you go to work, take 1 hour out of your day and connect with people who are doing what you want to do. Say, hey, I'm trying to get into this. Can you give me some information? I'm trying to figure out, if this is real or not, or I'm trying to figure out how to make this work for me. Are you willing to talk to me for a little bit? And just talk to people. Talk to a few people here and there, because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in the space and in the mindset and in front of people who are doing what you want to do. If I want to play in the NBA, I'm not going to go watch high school basketball. I'm going to go watch NBA basketball. I'm going to go watch them play and see how they do and learn from them and watch their moves and see if I can cross like Jay crossover. See if I can hit a shot like Luca. See if I can, you know what I mean? So I'm going to make sure that I pay attention to the people who are doing what I want to do. So it's a free step. It doesn't cost you anything. All it takes is your effort and your time. You get on there and you join some of these groups and you say, hey, I'm looking to do this just like you are. Start talking to people who are doing it. And that's the first step you can take. And that one step will open up so many doors for you.
how important is Facebook Messenger in a remote sales rep's career?
I think it's very important. I think your messenger game can make or break your sales career. And
How
a lot,
so?
a lot of people, here's a misconception. I have to go cold DM someone and get them to give me a job based on me spilling out all my information to them, telling them that I'm everything and anything, and this is what I'm trying to do, and I'm just brain dumping everything onto them. The misconception is that you have to do that in order to get a job. But the purpose of a Facebook Messenger is to get somebody on the phone, get somebody on a call, on a Zoom, or on your actual phone. That is the purpose when you're brand new. I want to get this business owner to actually hear my voice. I want to get them to engage with me on the phone or on a Zoom call. I want to be able to get out of this type message situation, and I want to meet them face to face or ear to ear, right? So I'm not going in there and spilling out all this information. I'm going in there and I'm with the purpose of I need to get them on the phone. So let me do whatever that takes to get them on the phone. And there's different strategies, there's different things you can do, there's different ways you can approach people, and that all comes later. But you won't know that until you talk to those people first. You won't know that until you integrate yourself in the life first. You
Yeah.
can't just come
Would you
into the
say?
Facebook. Go ahead.
Mhm. Would you say that Facebook Messenger is the difference between an empty and a full bank account?
That's a heavy statement, and I believe it's 100% true.
And it's true because why is it true?
It's true because if you can't have a good Facebook Messenger game, you can't get the job that's going to give you the full bank account. If you don't have a
Yep.
good enough game to have conversation with someone, I say this all the time, but what are we doing? We're in sales. So if you can't talk to someone, a business owner, if you can't communicate with them in a way that makes them think this person can communicate with my prospects, with my clients, why would they ever give you a job? If you're coming into their DMs and you're bum rushing them with all this information, they're thinking in their heads, reading this, this is going to do exactly the same thing to my clients. Why would I hire him? Why would I hire her? Right?
Yep. You know how easy, how easy it is, dude. Like it's literally just like on a sales call, right? Sales call, right? You're having this back and forth dialogue, you're asking questions, right? If you just literally have a back and forth dialogue where you ask questions, like if you're on a sales call with a prospect and they're just asking you for information the whole time, you're never gonna get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing on an interview. If they're just asking you for information the whole time and you're bending over, you're at their mercy. If you have a full conversation, and you're able to explore different areas they may need help with, and you're able to present yourself as that professional where they're willing to open up to you, and that's just a conversation. That's legitimately like the only way to fuck up an interview is to not have a conversation like a human being, to not listen, to not ask about what they're talking about, to not show the traits that you know they want,
Yep.
right? Like, and that's not hard. That's just having a conversation, you know?
It's all part of the game. It's you have a conversation that lets the other person on the other end of that conversation say, "Man, I really like this. I really like this guy, Jaydaniel. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's communicative. He can talk to people. I really enjoy this conversation. My prospects, my clients are going to really enjoy talking to him too. And that's going to bring a lot of money
Yep.
into my bank account as a business owner. Because I'm a
Yep.
business owner. I don't care about your bank account. I care about my bank account. Yeah.
Yep. Dude, it's like I had a really good example. So it's like it's slipping, bro. It's slipping. No,
Uh-oh.
I got you. So it's business owner, interview, conversation. Um, Fuck, it slipped away. Anyway, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It really is. It's the end of the day. It's like 9 o'clock, but it's a really big deal to just have that normal human dialogue, because here's the thing, right? And here's why questions are important. If I say, "Hey, Victor, I have a bunch of experience. I'm a good sales guy. I'm trustworthy. People like me. I represent people's brands really good." You're gonna say, "Okay, buddy, you could be
Yeah.
lying,"
I'm be like,
right?
"Oh, all right, cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so if I ask you, right, if instead of saying all that, I'm like, So I actually I did a lot of research on your company, and you've been working for about 5.5 years. Interesting that you actually had a partnership with this company, because I know a guy there. I'm curious, like, why what are your thoughts on uh and you don't want to get too technical, right? But you want to be able to have a conversation, like I'll legit just ask questions about what I'm interested in their company, because now they're thinking he has standards. He has standards in what he works with. Something I always ask. So like your marketing's great. Like how's the fulfillment? How happy are the clients? I noticed you had like 5 testimonials. If you have more, right? And the reason I'm asking that is not out of disrespect. It's because as you know, our industry is the wild wild west. Um, plenty of offers are coming and going, and I'm really looking for something where our clients are really getting value. I'm able to talk to them and potentially get referrals, and I want to build something long term. This guy isn't going to run away from me, so he's dependable, he's loyal, he's high, he's higher value. They're picky. And now me telling you you're bullshit, you could be lying because other people have lied and you could lie, and I can't see your mind. If you're thinking it, you're believing it. If you're thinking it, you're believing it,
Yeah.
right? So if you show them and they see it and they perceive you a certain way, that's why branding is so important.
Yeah.
All branding is, guys, all branding is literally how are people perceiving you.
Yep.
If somebody perceives you as a professional who can deliver, right? If they perceive you, here's how it works. When somebody's looking to work with somebody, they have a picture in their mind of the perfect person to work with. They're loyal, they're dependable, they're really hardworking. Every fucking business owner is gonna say the same shit. They're hardworking, they're loyal, they're dependable, they follow through with their word, all this shit, right? Top performer. That's what I want. Everybody wants the same shit. So if you can show that through your actions and your questions, you're never gonna struggle to get an offer or to work with somebody or to make six ever,
Even
ever.
if you have zero experience.
Zero experience. But Victor, you asked me about my experience. I don't know. I don't have any. Do we just end the interview? I don't really have any.
Well, here's how you mess yourself up already. Number one, you probably copy pasted something in the DMs, had a long list of questions. They just so happen to say, okay, I'll get on an interview with you. You get on the interview and you're just answering questions. You're just answering their questions. You haven't done any research. You haven't shown that you're knowledgeable. You haven't projected the traits that they're looking for. You haven't been confident. You haven't been communicative. You haven't been witty. You haven't been, trustworthy. You haven't been any of these things on these calls that the prospects are looking for. Little secret. If you're coming brand new into sales and you're like, man, how can I find a job with no experience? You can go create one. And I'm not saying go start a company. I'm not saying go out and try to make something of yourself that way. What I'm saying is you can create an opportunity by talking to a business owner and projecting the traits that he's looking for in his company. Whether or not he's got a position open is at all. If I get on the phone with the business owner and I'm talking to them, at the end of it, they're gonna think, man, I want this guy. I don't know what I want him to do yet, but I want him. And then you weasel your way in and you become the linchpin in that business, and then you can create something for yourself.
Bro, they should be pitching you. Like the business owner should, because think about it. Think about it. I learned this from Eli Watt. I was in his coaching for like 6 months, right? This is something they taught. Like the way to do a sales call, the way to have that conversation is you have your ideal client that buys every single time, and you have the person in front of you. You're gonna change their beliefs around money. You're gonna change every belief that isn't congruent with your ideal client. And that's when you decide to pitch them. You decide to offer your services, right? If like think about it. So like if you meet all the criteria that they're looking for, right? They're going to pitch you. Hey, I got this offer. You could work on it. You probably have some other offers. Somebody like feels like you're a good rep when they're like, you're probably on some other offers if you haven't already, right? You're probably talking to other girls.
Yeah. Hey, you're probably talking to other girls, but I'm the one that you should be with because blah blah blah.
You're in demand.
Yeah.
You're in demand, right?
Yeah.
So like if they feel like you're in demand, they're gonna pitch you because there's a level of scarcity. if they feel like they're guaranteed to have you, there's a million other people like you. They're not, you know what I mean? But like the this person has a whole business and they need somebody who ticks these boxes, you know? So they're probably gonna just put you in the pile of 300 other people that are applying. When if you just cut to the juice and have a conversation, you know?
Yeah.
Easy.
And if you can get that conversation without having to apply for the job, much easier.
100%. And that's the thing too, right? Like that doesn't mean don't do job applications.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like you can. It's not that hard. You can do hundreds in a couple minutes, you know? It's just like there are downsides to it, and you probably shouldn't just do that. Just like you shouldn't just invest in gold, right? You probably, you know what I mean? You probably want to exactly, you know, so you want to diversify your portfolio because like the metric to getting a sales job is how soon you're going to get it is how many conversations per day are you having with people that could potentially like offer you a position, you know, to work with them, right? If you're having 3 conversations and 1 interview a week, well shit, man, you're doing more than a lot of people, but there's other people doing 20, 30 interviews per week, 140 conversations, 100 messages sent out a day, right? And they have 6 gigs in 4 days, you know, and they have to pick one. And now they can bring that energy to the call. Now you can kind of like slip it in like, well, I have 600 interviews this week. You know, I am working with an offer part-time. Right. And you so for that reason, I just, you know, I want to make sure this is a fit. I want to make sure this is a company that, you know, I could see myself working with for years and years, you know. Fucking if you came into 2023 and you said I want to make 6 figures as a sales rep, like dude, like it literally, it's not that hard. Like we just gave you the fucking keys. Like it's literally that. Like, and if you want a 20-second like clip or piece on what to do, you literally go in Facebook groups, find closers, right? You'll find groups that have closers in there, find like people with businesses, online businesses, reach out to them, have conversations, get them from Messenger to a call, and fucking close the deal. You know, you're generating leads and you're closing them. And cold outreach, who gives a shit? 100 messages a day or however much. Messenger gets weird. Sometimes it'll block you at 20 or 50 or whatever. But dude, if you just send as many messages a day as you can, and that literally after 20 minutes, you won't be able to send more.
Yeah.
You're good. Because once you enter an ecosystem, think about it. Think about it. Once you enter an ecosystem, I had a business owner pay like $6,000 for me to get coaching. I didn't have to pay that back. They did it because I'm making them sales, you know? So you can get the best training. That can be one of your first questions. What kind of training do you guys offer, right? Like you get the training. You're probably going to get a mentor if it's a smaller company, the business owner, or if it's a little bit bigger, the sales manager who's already crushed and hit every goal you could ever have if you're coming into sales, right? And you can literally, they are obligated to help you because guess what, guys? You probably didn't know this. Almost every sales manager in this industry is getting paid a percentage every time you make a sale. Oh my God. So if they're getting a percentage every time you make a sale, they are incentivized to help you because by helping you, they just made an extra $6,000 for the month, 40, you know, whatever, like for the year. Like get your foot into a company and you are set. And you know, like you don't have like
into a good company.
I don't think 100%. 100%. That's you know, and if you're surrounded by the right people too, right? Like you're talking to like the cool club, like, you know, dude, so easy. Like, and there's a lot of like training out there that you can buy. I actually think one of the biggest benefits of training is that you get to build relationships with other people that are like closers in the industry,
that's the
right?
biggest benefit of training.
Yeah. No, and it's like you get the same benefit from just joining a company. You know? So like your priority should be getting onto an offer and having as many conversations as possible with people that could pay you.
Right. You want to make 6 figures.
That'll get you to 10 grand. Huh?
You want to make 6 figures a year, you have to start by making 1 figure, right? And you have to make that $1. If you can
one
make
figure,
the way
you don't comma club.
You can't say figures if it's under 4 figures. You can't say it.
Right.
So if you want to make $1, right? You want to make it,
Yep.
you got to make $1 before you can make 100, right? 100,000,
100%.
right? So how do you make
Thousand.
$1 in sales? You have a conversation. And if you can't have one conversation with one valuable person right now, you're never going to make 6 figures.
Yep.
So start out by making the effort of one conversation, then add to that and add to that and add to that and add to that. Spend some time just having conversations. Those conversations will take you a lot of places.
100%. Oh, that's so good. For anybody watching, we're gonna cut it short, but replay that if you want to get to 10 grand a month. This video is for people getting started in sales. This is a new year. This is time to make some fucking money. Our country's probably gonna fall apart in the next 10 years because our politics are shit. So you want to get your money up. You want to be remote. Don't want to be tied to any location. And yeah, hope this helps. You guys are great, awesome, and fun. This has been the Sales at Home podcast. I'm waiting for you to kind of jump into it. So you have like a cool.
As always, if you're watching on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our videos coming up. As well as if you're listening on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcast, please rate us 5 stars. It helps the show. It helps us. It helps us know what kind of content you like so we can keep producing that as well.
Woo! All right, guys. Peace out.
Guys. See ya.